Welcome to Under the Sun podcast.
I'm Irene.
And I'm Ilea. We're so glad you're here. Grab a hot
or iced coffee and join us as we talk about everything under the sun.
Hello.
Hi. You're about to have a baby in 3 months.
Yeah. Let's see, by the time this is out though, because it's
closer. Gotta be closer.
Well, we have that other Amy one. We're recording this in early August. So this will be at end of August.
Yeah.
If not early September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've both had married. We both had a marriage post babies.
We've both
and our
had
marriages are great.
Yeah, but ours had a rough stint.
It did.
I mean,
I think everybody's does though. So let's talk about that because that way people don't. Not that I mean, we didn't really have it rough. Just you're more snippy, but because you're tired, nobody has slept. But even in the snippiness, for us, it wasn't like, ugh, you're so annoying. I never want to see you again. It was like, I really love you, but I could throat punch you.
I don't even think. I think we had different experiences because we never really had the like exhaustion part of it because our kids slept great, which I know is a rare thing for a lot of people. But I was determined to follow wake windows and stuff, and it worked with her. I'm not going to say it's going to work with every kid. Yeah. But like sleep, we were never sleep deprived. What our issue was, which I guess I can probably talk about this now, I'm assuming. So like,
well, don't if you're not comfortable talking about anything.
No, that Dave had started a new job. Like, I can't remember. Let's see. He basically like the agreement was like, oh, like he's gonna leave the job as soon as paternity leave starts. So like he's gonna set them up, like be with them for like to like transition out. And then he went on paternity leave, and then when he started back, he was starting this new role. Well, the new role was 10 times worse than the old role, and so like he was trying to like leave that role for like work-life balance, and not like in a millennial I'm entitled to my like like
he worked like 7 billion hours a week.
7 billion hours a week, and the pressure on him was very high, but also the pressure on being a new parent, a new mom was also high, and then I had the anxiety of like, well, I had to start back to work, and then bless his heart, he just didn't know what he didn't know. He was like, we should just put her in daycare. And I was like, I did not just do all of this just to put her in daycare. And then like I went and looked at daycare costs. I was like, I will be nulling out my salary. Like it will be canceling out. So like, what's the effing point? And I rarely curse when it comes to our arguments, but I remember that was like a really contentious part of like, he was like, well, you can't just leave because like the house we were in was at like the top of our budget that we were comfortable with. Because we eat a lot and we eat well, and actually we eat way better now. So like that's where it was hard for us of like the first year was super rough because like I was like, I'm not leaving. And like, there are people in our life who are more available. He was like, well, let's just leave her with them. And I'm like, I did not do this to have somebody else raise my kid. Like and he was like, and rightfully so. He was like, you never talked about not working before. And I was like, you don't know what you don't know. And
so you hold that baby and you're like, oh, you're never leaving my sight. Great.
Well, that, and like, you're just like, oh, like nothing else, money doesn't matter in that sense of like,
like you will just figure it out.
Like we will figure it out, like to the point where like I loved our home. It was beautiful. It like, I mean, there were things wrong with it, like every house is, but I was like, I don't care. I would rather sell our house and live in a tiny like mobile home. Yeah. Which there's nothing wrong with mobile homes. They're actually very efficient. Then like miss this. I was like, because I can tell by the end of my life. And I remember like we had these heated conversations of like, when I get to the end of my life, I'm not going to be like, I'm so glad I went back to work so early. And then it would absolutely interfere with the breastfeeding relationships. And eventually like the baby, everyone's always surprised. Like when the baby prioritizes the bottle, it's like, like that's what it's getting mostly through the day. Of course, that's what it's going to like. I was like, I'm not going to look back on my life and be like, I wish I would have gone to work. I will be resentful towards you that like we didn't make the necessary changes because life happens and you love this baby more than you realize. And like, I realized that nobody can love them.
Understand that love. I think you can't understand it until you have a baby.
Yeah. And I didn't know, I never guessed. I was more of a, I'm a recovering leftist that like, girl bossing, don't rely on no man was like something that was not ingrained by my parents, but like societally, that was what the conversation was. But that was rough for like the first year. And then there was like a remote job that I was going to get that like ended up falling through, which is a blessing because I was like, I couldn't have even worked remotely with a full-time job because his job was so demanding that like when he could engage in familial things, he was like hanging out with Leo as he should. But like, I was like, and I told him, I was like, I love you. I was like, but this isn't going to work if I'm working full time, taking care of the kid 100% of the time. Cause like it was fully, he was working 100%. I was Leo 100%. And I was like, it's not going to work if we get to the end of our life and I'm working full time, taking care of the baby, doing all the cleaning and cooking. And you're just working full time. Cause like I'm working basically floor full time. I was like, and I'm going to get resentful if this lasts much longer. And so like, by the grace of God, I prayed about it a lot because he was not on board because he wasn't used to the idea, which I don't blame him.
I didn't on him.
I didn't know. I was like, I didn't even know to ask. That's what I wanted. But I was like, I'm not putting her in daycare. I'm not letting family raise her because I don't want that. Like I didn't do this to have family raise my kid.
You had a kid so you can raise your kid.
Yeah, I had a kid because like that's I don't know. So the first year was hard for us.
Yeah.
Ours
was not, it wasn't even, I say hard. I don't know. I married a unicorn. The man's great. But ours was later when both kids were born and so close together, which I wanted and would never change a thing. I love it. But there was a point, since they were both terrible sleepers.
Yeah.
It was like, I think it was pushing on like 3-4 months where neither one of us slept longer than an hour.
Yeah, that's
because the kids would sleep in 2 or 3 hour increments, but shifted from each other. So we were always awake. Like we never got REM sleep. And it wasn't like we were fighting all the time. It's just like the normal, you get snippy because you're tired. And then all you do is snip and you're too tired to go on dates because you're starting a business in a pandemic like a moron. 2 babies under 2. And but I think for us, it was like, well, or at least for me, it's like, this is not going to last forever. The snippiness will go away. But we had such a foundation before that no part of me was worried that like, oh, he's going to get bored because I'm either grumpy or working or nursing. Like I never thought that. It's just like, oh, well, we'll laugh about this when we're old and together. But I guess I would swing childhood marriage. How do I rephrase this? Post-childhood marriage to like your foundation needs to be real strong before that kid comes out.
Yeah, I would say that's true because like Dave and I could count on 3 fingers the times we actually argued before we had kids.
Yeah.
To the point where like maybe we should have argued a little more to like strengthen that communication skill. Cause like we were actually both pretty like, there wasn't much we were discontent about each other with like, and like things, not to say like life was easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it is easier. Like it's a different type of easy.
Yeah.
We had challenges, we had businesses, we had demanding schedules, all those things, but it's just different. I don't think we had the communication skills that we probably should have. Like there are things that like, like bother you, but like I don't find myself being a naggy person. I'm just like, whatever. Yeah. But when you're tired and you're nursing all the time and you're just like, it's your turn to put the baby to bed. It's like, well, I don't have titties. It's like, okay. It's
the exhaustion. It's not that you don't love him or that you're snippy with it's not that you want them to leave. It's just that nobody has slept. Your nutrients are gone from just halfway hemorrhaging out, and then you're nursing, and then you're tired. And it's hard. You're not just going to replenish that immediately. Yeah. So
it is interesting. I think
so. Start on your I would say, I guess if this is a how-to podcast or a something, really work on strengthening all that trust and that bond beforehand. But we had 10 years before we had kids. Yeah. So we had 10 years of us just hanging out together
We had 6. Yeah. I mean, 6 years of marriage, but then more of dating and engagement. But I would say, I think what I went wrong is I wanted to be her expert for sure, because I was like, I wanted to make sure breastfeeding happened. Because like, I've never done this before. It was my first time.
Yeah.
And everybody talks like, oh, breastfeeding is so hard. And sometimes it is hard. I'm not negating that for sure. And every time is different. But like, I was very, like, I was like, no, like, I'm going to, I want to breastfeed, and I don't want anything interfering with it. So like, any opportunity I got to like be the primary caregiver to Leora, like I did it. Like I shielded it. Dave did a lot of the diapers, especially when he was on, he did all of the diapers when he was on paternity leave. But when he went back to work and basically got like thrown in boiling water and was like, oh my gosh, like this building is on fire and I have to help manage the building being on fire because, you know, I was still out on maternity leave. I think I like took on everything, which then like made him like a passive participant. And so
like, she's got it, so I don't have to help her.
Yeah. And when I didn't have it and I was pissed that he wasn't helping, I'm like, what? Like, which didn't happen until probably like 6 months in, to where I actually like, it kind of wears on you. It's like, oh, like I was totally happy to do it.
Yeah.
When I was off work, I was like, this is fine. Like you're doing your thing. I'm doing this thing. We're having a great time. I love this kid. But when we added work again, like full-time work, and it was already in farming, which is not my, that like, that's probably like the least role I could think about. But I would say like, don't shield your husband from, like, even just because he's working full-time, like he has to participate in kid activities, like feeding them.
Well, and it's not like you have to complain every second they walk in the door.
Yeah, no.
But be at a healthy enough spot in your marriage beforehand that you feel comfortable. Or even as a girl who, I feel like girls are like, we can just do it. We can do it. And I'm not even like former leftist, former feminist, but maybe it's the first kid where I'm like, I just got it. I can just do it. Nobody help me. I'll just do it myself. Like, be comfortable saying, hey, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
You have to help me.
Or like let him flounder a little. Like, I'm serious. Like don't always have the answer. Yeah. That's kind of what I think it depends on your husband's personality type, where they are in birth order.
Yeah.
But like, sometimes.
Do you think some would flounder? Do you think it depends on the person? Because I have no questions, but that I could like take a week-long trip and Jacob would be fine. I could not wash anything, prep anything.
Is different.
Yeah.
I think what happened is he got thrown in boiling water with the job that they said would be better and more balanced. And it was absolutely not. He was working he was starting work at like 6 a.m. and then ending at like 8 p.m.
That's wild.
And then we moved in that process, which like I moved us like basically first to postpartum. Like I packed up our whole dang house and like also had to all the things.
Yeah.
I think his nervous system got thrown way off because he was basically just in fight or flight the whole time. And so only in this recent role that he's been in now, he's been able to reset his nervous system. And he's just matured as like a corporate employee / like dad, where he's like, I don't want to miss, my kid's 3. He's like, this has flown by. I'm not going to miss any, like, I don't want to miss any more for corporate jobs. He's like, I'm going to work my butt off and I'll work a couple hours extra here and there. Like I'll put in my time, you know, the sweat equity, whatever.
Right.
But he's like, I'm not going to constantly like, bend over backwards for other people's, poor planning doesn't constitute my emergency. Yep. He would always take on the emergency and like, I'm the first one, I can fix it. Like whatever. Yeah. But no, like I think he would flounder, like, which is I think a good thing. There was a time where like,
not like
when
I left, drown. He would just flounder and then figure it out.
Yeah. Like, versus like when I would do something early on, like, which was, I mean, I didn't leave
you
her
didn't leave at all
for a long time, like a long time. Do you know who Procter & Gamble is?
I wish I didn't.
They're the owners of Pampers and Loves. They help fund the murder and mutilation of children. Did you know that?
Which is bizarre for someone who claims to care about your child's rear end.
Not to mention that, but also their stuff is filled with harsh chemicals, endocrine disruptors, carcinogens, like in the diaper on your kids. most sensitive parts. It tells you exactly who they are and that they actually don't care about your kid. They care about getting your money for their product. I have made the switch and I have not looked back once. Good. It's with Every Life. They are non-toxic diaper company, but they auto ship to your door, and we have a code with them now because I use their product like we always do, guys. We use the product first, and then we're like, we reach out. We're like, guys, we want to talk about you on the podcast because we think our listeners would actually really benefit from this information. So, or this product. So, anywho, but yeah, we have a code with them.
Woohoo! Code UTSP10.
Yeah, and you get 10% off your purchase, which I don't think you'll regret at all. It's non-toxic, super soft, really like, it feels like a nice quality. And it doesn't feel like plastic, if that makes sense.
And they don't support murder. They don't support murder.
Okay, UTSP10, bye. Do you have brain fog? Are you lethargic? Do you have digestion issues? Do you not poop enough? Are you pooping too much? Do you have angry outbursts? Does your butthole itch? Irene, does your butthole itch? Don't answer that. Don't answer.
I'm going to answer.
Well, if your butthole itches, what does that mean?
Question. That means you have a worm.
Or many worms.
Lots of worms.
And I know what you're thinking. Worms, are you kidding? That doesn't happen.
I've not left the country.
Yeah, it happens. Guys, like, you can go touch the soil in your front yard and get worms from there. Like, because
if you have pets, they lick you.
We're disgusting, honestly. And like food, like produce, if it's not cleaned properly or if it's grown and like, they're everywhere. Yeah. So most cultures cleanse once a quarter. Yeah. So
deworm themselves all the time.
You gotta deworm yourself, and we have the perfect brand for you.
Yes. Rogers Hood is where we get all of our parasite things from. She has this kit. It gives you everything you need. It has 3 tinctures. There are
and heavy metals too.
Yep, pulls heavy metals out. It's so great. Yeah. I did it. I'll just say it. I did it, and the very first day that I started the tinctures, an 8-inch tapeworm came out of my butt.
8 inch.
So, and I mean, I have left the country on like cruises, but it's all sanitary and everything's washed, and they're there.
It's just life, and we have to just cleanse regularly. Yeah. So use our code UTSP10 and you won't regret it.
Yeah.
But like, it would be like, I would have to like write out like how to do things.
Yeah.
Or like, where's the bottle warmer? It's like, just look in the cat, like just look in the cat.
That's a normal marriage thing.
I know. That's my only complaint about marriage is like constantly asking where things are. And I'm like,
I love the reels about it. Did you see? I shared one. I think I shared
about ketchup. Like, where is the ketchup? And it's like,
I shared it to the friends group. I'm going to share it to the podcast because it made me laugh. And it's this old man looking in the ketchup, and it said, "Ladies and gentlemen, my emergency contact looking for the ketchup." And I can relate like because it's funny, but Jacob is most of the time not like that. He used to be. Yeah. Now he's pretty efficient at finding stuff, but he's home with the kids all the time.
Yeah.
So we're pretty 50-50 on working. Like, I work 3 days a week. And then Sundays, we both try not to work. And then he works 3 days a week. So, and on those days, like yesterday, I was gone 8:30 to 8:30. So it's like, good luck. Hope you feed him something. And he's great. And sometimes he feeds them better than I do. They'll have like 3 cooked square meals. And I'm like, here's some meat sticks. Good luck. So,
yeah.
I think sometimes I'm like, the orange juice is literally in the door. And he's like, I can't see it, but I think that's just man eyes because my son does the same thing. And Nova's like, Riker, it's right there. I'm like, okay.
See, but Leora has Dave's eyes. She's she's like sitting here.
That's, I think, maybe her age. I think like, she'll come out of that.
Mom, where's your, I don't know if you can see my water cup here, but she's like, Mom, where's your water? I want to drink. Mom. And I'm like, stop, take a breath, look around. I'm also, trying to.
I think that maybe will flip when she ages. I just realized I'm drinking out of your pickle juice jar, and I put mangoes in it, so it probably looks like I'm drinking pickles. It's mango. So, carry
on. It didn't even register as abnormal to me. So that's but yeah, like, I think I had a friend who had a baby around when I had Leora, home birth, similar situation. Actually, I had 2 friends, like, they had kids, but one is like out of state. And like, it's okay to admit that, like, hey, marriage is shifted. Mm-hmm. Like,
it is different.
And it does shift. Sure. And it won't last forever, but it's also okay to acknowledge, like, oh, like, I'm a little like disappointed in how this situation is, like, whatever the situation's turned out. or how the cards have landed so far. But it won't last. Every season gets a little easier, a little different. But
yeah, it does. But then you also have to put in some of the work, which is hard when you're exhausted. And even if the only work you can do is just a prayer.
Yeah.
Because that bitterness too can cause a wedge. And then that wedge, then you have people who are only together because of the kids. It's like, what happened to those two kids who used to, I don't know, ride bikes in the sunset? Now they can't even look at each other. So we were kind of cautious of that early on. Like, we kind of went into having kids knowing like, okay, it will never just be us again. How do we make sure we don't hate each other in 20 years?
For a long time.
And and then even that changes a lot when you've had a kid and then two kids and then no one's sleeping longer than an hour. So it's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I never had to worry like, I'm too exhausted. I have nothing left to give. Where else is he going to get it? It's like none of me was worried about that, which is a gift. So,
I think that's the best thing you can do though, is pray for your spouse and pray for yourself to be humble enough to like see things from their perspective too. Because he has never said this, but like if I were him, I would be a little like jealous-ish of like how focused my wife suddenly is on, like, as they should be, but like but like then the attention,
like all the attention is on him.
Like it was all about Dave all the time, like not in a but like in my attention ways. And like I would have a hard time being like kind of turning to second fiddle when there's a tiny little baby. And I think there's a season when it's the when their little baby's like like it's kind of like I'm the priority for sleep and the baby's priority for sleep, like, and that's the priority. Who is pulling it in my driveway? Oh, probably Amazon. But like there are ways you can show each other that you love each other and you can pray for each other and then ask for for grace. Because
I mean, there were times too when we were both working that one day I even joke, you know, like you sing song stuff that you mean to make it less serious and kind of jokey. So I'm like walking in and I walked in and he walked out and I was like, 2 ships passing in the night. And then like he shut the door and then we were both laughing. And then he called me and like we had an uninterrupted sort of conversation while he drove to work. But he was like, are you okay? And I'm like, I think so, but maybe not. But it's like, we are 2 ships right now. And both of us being able to talk to each other and acknowledge like, hey, this is not forever.
Yeah.
They will leave us one day and we will still love each other. So
yeah.
But you have to be willing to say that, which I know I think it's hard for women to ask for help or like say, hey, I'm feeling neglected. And I'm sure it's harder for a man to say, hey, I'm feeling neglected.
Yeah.
Obviously the kid takes priority, but you're still people that
sometimes though.
That's when they're newborns. I'm saying,
when they're newborns.
When they're this age, it's like, get out, give us 10 minutes. We're watching a scary movie and let us have a full conversation. So
yeah,
at this age, like, okay, now we can refocus our marriage on us parenting the kids. When they're like fresh out the womb, like they are priority because they literally will die if you don't care for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being willing to like say sorry. If we had a couple conversations where we always said if we are going to bring something up to each other, the other person has to be willing to listen, which doesn't always it's not always right at that point. There have been times where I'm like, hey, that hurt my feelings. And he's like, well, you just took it the wrong way. I have to go. And he'll go. And it's like, okay, well, I am confident enough that I can call him later or talk to him later when he's not working. Like, I'm not nagging him while he's at work. But when he comes home, I'm like, hey, you told me I can tell you my feelings. And if you don't want me to tell you my feelings, then fine, I'll keep them to myself, which also is maybe not the greatest way. But it was me trying to say like, hey, you told me to tell you when I'm hurting. I told you when you made fun of me. And then even if it's not right then, he usually comes back. He's like, you're right. I wanted to know that I hurt your feelings. I am sorry. Or like vice versa. Like if we were snippy today on the way out because I had to get the kids packed and then he had to work and I'm digging in his stuff for all of the cameras. And just like a quick phone call. It's like, hey, I'm sorry I was snippy. I was like, oh, I'm sorry I was snippy too.
Yeah.
So, and I think I know it's so dumb, but I think it's hard to say sorry. Because I'm a firstborn. I do not say sorry well. So he is usually the first to apologize. And I will say that. He's a kind soul. And I'm like, you're right. I'm sorry. It's like, oh, then later I'm like, shoot, I probably should have called and apologized first. But it was not on my radar. But
yeah.
But be willing to listen. Like if your husband says, hey, I'm feeling alone, the instinct is to say, well, I'm doing this and I'm feeding the kids and I'm doing this. It's like, but that's how he's feeling. You want him to feel confident to come talk to you. You want to feel confident to come talk to them. But it is hard in that moment. And sometimes it's space. And I know we've talked about this on like marriage advice before. I don't agree with don't go to bed angry, because I hit a wall where I need to sleep. And sometimes it's like nothing productive is going to come from this conversation. I need to go to bed. We will talk in the morning. And usually by the next morning, everything in me is shifted. I'm like, okay, let's have a conversation. So I kind of disagree with don't fester for 6 months. But
yeah,
if you need to sleep or eat a snack, remove yourself from the situation, which you can't always do with a newborn. But again, that newborn season is different. Newborn season is different than parenting season. That's like its own little window. Parenting is a whole other ball game.
It just makes me frustrated that like I don't think this is how God intended all of us to live.
Yeah.
Like
well,
I don't think we're intended for like the design now is like, oh, like 2 parents go out and split and then leave the kids at home with or take them to daycare, take them to school, whatever.
Yeah.
And then everybody's just ships passing in the night and there's no connection. And then you get home and you're like, I just want to disassociate. So I'm going to be on my phone. I'm going to watch TV. You're like, why am I not feeling loved or connected to? And it's because all we do is disassociate when we're in the presence of the people that we are working our butts off for. Yeah. So I think it's not God's original design. So whatever you can do to get back to that design. Like us, we sold our house and we intentionally drive. Well, we had to replace a car, but we intentionally drive like we have a paid off car. Oh, it's your van. There's your van. Is there too? I was like, what is that dark thing right there? Like we just do things like we have budgets. We budget our food. I make a bunch of our food from scratch because freaking us going to Chick-fil-A was like $58 the other day.
That's insane.
And I was like, for $58, I could feed us for days.
Yep.
Days. I'm like, we're not doing this anymore. So we have become to reduce our stress, which reduces arguments, which makes our family actually healthier because I'm just going the little bit extra mile to make healthy foods. Like we save a crap ton of money by just, which, you know, everything is tight right now. Like whose freaking electric bill is, ours is like almost $700.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, why did we spend $20,000 to do these, high efficiency things when I
think the electrical companies, I don't think they're reading meters. I think they're just charging this summer because it's summer.
Well, they physically have to come out to ours because we removed our smart meter.
I think they're just pushing whatever buttons they want to push.
Well, it's because of our governor is shipping out energy. Anyways.
Because there should be no reason that your high efficiency brand new, like you've resealed in your home. It's basically a semi-new home from all of the sealing you guys have done.
Yeah.
There's no reason it should be that, but that's...
Yeah, but all that to say is that every season won't last forever.
Yeah.
And
try to
have fun.
Yeah, not reground yourself. That sounds so dumb, but like reground yourself in this person that you made. Like you wanted to have a kid with this person because you wanted another small version of this person. And remembering that when no one slept and everyone's crabby and covered in poop, it's like...
Yeah. I think, again, it's different with newborn phase, but even now, like when Leora and I are having a conversation, me and Dave are having a conversation and Leora tries to like interrupt, like Dave and I have agreed that like we are the priority when it comes to like if we're having a conversation, like, no, like you need to wait. You can't just interrupt. Yeah. No, like we're having an adult conversation, / like she doesn't get priority all the time for the television or whatever it is. Like there's still moments where it's like, no, mom and dad are going to watch a movie and you can play with your toys and color and be in here with us and still have fun in your own way. But like mom and dad need this time, whatever, to do X, Y, and Z. And like we're a team who has a teammate that doesn't participate as much. And so like we're like the main team and she's like the
B team.
The B team. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
one of my favorite things about this phase is when I've lost it and I've hit that wall and everyone can tell because the kids are being rude. When he steps in and he's like, hey, that is my wife. You back off. And I'm like, yeah, I'm his wife. Because like, I'm no longer your mom. Sorry.
and then he's like, turns around, he's like, why are you being a bitch?
That has happened. But it's great.
Yeah, I love it too. It's
like, oh yeah, I'm not your mom. Sorry, you got to deal with that guy. I'm not. Yeah. Mothers, do not interfere with your husbands as long as they're not like abusive psychopaths. Yeah. If your husband is disciplining your kids, let him do it. It's not always fun, but there's a certain point where I'm like, your dad's problem, and I'll buy. Sorry. Yeah. I am Jacob's wife, not my children's mother.
There have been times.
Don't be rude to me.
I hated it as a kid, where like she's done something bad and Dave's about to be home, and I'm like, you need to talk to your dad about that. Yeah. Or something. And then she's like, I don't want to. Because, like, she gets sad by even explaining that she did something bad. So sometimes, like, that's like a worse punishment. And she's like, Dad, I'm so sorry. And she always says, like, I have to apologize for something. And I'm like, yeah, me too.
I love it.
Yeah. It won't last forever. Apologize, pray. And just know like things are going to shift. But if you try to stay friends. Yeah. And then boink in the closet as much as you can. Life will get back to normal once those kids move out. But then like these are the days that everybody wants back. Yeah. You know, like the hardest days. Also like going into battle with someone is really bonding. It's great. Being like, that toddler is crazy. Yep. What did we create? Yep. It's bonding to be like, okay, how do we have all these things on our to-do list? What are we going to do? And then you try to achieve it together. Yeah. But if you're always constantly running in separate directions, it's not going to work.
Which, back to you said about like how things aren't supposed to be and how it's not God's plan. There's the amount of times we've talked about how if we just didn't have like, you have to eat. You have to have a roof over your head. Yeah. And I do like my craft stuff. So I need a space for my craft stuff. But other than that, I am content to like not have so like we loved the pandemic part in that both of us were stopped working. For 3 months. We spent 24/7 together. And it like broke my heart that people were like, after this, like we're getting a divorce or like joking about getting a divorce. That was the greatest 3 months of our entire marriage. Yeah. And we had a 1-year-old. So like in that time, we're like, man, if we could just disappear somehow and like survive off of nothing. Yeah. But maybe it's a gift that we actually like it. Like we got married because we wanted to spend time with each other because we loved each other, not because he was convenient and close by. So yeah. I think maybe I just have a gift, I guess. I don't like a gift of a good marriage. I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I think a lot of people have said like our marriages are unicorn marriages because like we actually enjoy each other's company. Yeah. Oh, 30. But that doesn't mean that there aren't seasons of hard where you're just like, okay. There's just like a misalignment of like either someone has grown and someone hasn't yet, or someone like there's a misalignment somewhere and you just have to like that's why it's for better or worse. It's like and it's way more beautiful to like be like, yeah, we love each other even though we've been through hard stuff. Yeah. Like we survived X, Y, and Z. Like it's love is like a love that is easy is not really all I'm gonna talk about. But okay, our time is up.
Yes. We're doing it. We're not keeping you people for 2 hours.
I wonder if people will complain.
We'll see.
Okay. Let us know what you think of these podcast episodes. If you have any requests, let us know.
Instagram.
Yep. Under the Sun Podcast. And we will see you next time.
Goodbye. This content is for educational purposes only and is not intended as medical advice.
Please do your own research and find a trusted medical professional for personalized guidance and advice.
We are not responsible for your decisions based on the information you hear on this podcast.
Bye.
Bye.